You know, it's bad enough that you guys have taken over my house for a year and I've had to move into the attic, but now I have to walk in to find Darth Vader's turd in the middle of my living room. I mean, what is this?
On most shows I've come into, it's been inheriting other people's work. And I think what Ian and I and Kim tried to do is take all of that information from all these different worlds and just kind of carry that torch along and not really change it too much, because The Good Place was a beautiful set that was executed well, and people love it. People love yogurt, yogurt, yogurt. There was millions. There was a lot of times I was on the back lot that fans of the show would come by and they would just like, they found something. It was like staring at the Statue of Liberty. And so we wanted to protect that. So the first order of business is being a shepherd of some good choices that were already made. And then when new worlds come up, for instance, the luau that happened in season 4, and that was a new thing. We hadn't had like a party in the Good Place that was like that. So the stamp on it comes from what angle are we going to do it? Are we going to do fun luau? Are we going to do a sophisticated luau? Are we going to do a Party City luau? And the influence and the inspiration we got from that was that Jason's going to ask a fiery ring for his wildest dreams, and a motorcycle with Pamela Anderson's cleavage is going to appear. So we knew from that this was going to be a silly, wacky place.
Help!
Everybody, you're all still standing in the IHOP. The judge simply augmented your reality to make you feel like you're in a normal IHOP.
The art director manages time, space, and money. So oftentimes I will find an empty soundstage through the help of a producer, or in the Good Places incidents, we already had 2. And we fill it up with scenery based on what the script needs. And I'm the one who's trying to help negotiate space and time. So like, if we have 5 weeks to build something, can we build it in 5? Can we build it in 3? Can we build it in 2? And what else can we fit in that shoebox at that time? The art director is usually also the person who hires the graphic artist and the set designer, and the art department coordinator who handles POs and things like that. So if you think about a typical office setting, the art director kind of works as the manager of the office setting for the art department, but then also is on the shop floor making mistakes, helping fix mistakes, helping change things. If the designer is in a van somewhere and, you know, who knows where scouting, and they have a change, that comes to me, and then I try to help execute it.
Hey, guys, so you wait here while I go get us some more of these pins.
But what is this place?
It's just a place, you know, an area or location. It's pretty straightforward.
The Museum of Human Misery?
Oh, yeah.
Mike Schur and Dan Bishop created a lot of what the original neighborhood was, and we didn't change it that often. We never changed Dungeons and Dragons because it was another thing like yogurt, 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 that it just pulled on people's heartstrings. As a side story, somebody told me that worked at Disneyland, we can't even change a park bench because you're influencing people's nostalgia. And it felt like that on the show, that like, I don't want to damage something that someone has gotten an affection to. And then there were times when the show needed that. For instance, there is an episode where yogurt, yogurt, yogurt changes to something else. But for the most part, we kept the neighborhood, the core of what it was.
Hang on. You're not supposed to be here either. You're a mistake, just like me.
Yeah, and I'm freaking out, dog. There's so much thoughts in my brain. It's like my head is filled with rocks.
We tried really hard to keep it logical and keep it in order and always stick to those rules, because really great science fiction has rules that they stay inside. And so we got really messed up though at one point, because if you think about season 3 or season 4, where the new Good Place is being built at the Medium Place because they build it in Mindy's backyard. So then it gets really tricky. You're like, well, is this really the Good Place, or is this the Good Place in the Medium Place? And is Janet doing a good job keeping it up? So in season 4, we kind of relaxed a little bit on how much we maintained, because it was difficult for her to maintain it. We knew that because she said that. So we let the cracks play, and we definitely, made the street look great when we could. But there was, if you look around, it's a little dirtier than it was season 1 for sure. Even though we loved Eleanor's house, every time it came back, it was like, oh God. And it was on decks, and of course the stairs come out, the clown doors when those woke up. That was always exciting because that always came towards the end, and you're like, okay, we're getting it. And a lot of the decisions that were made for the decor and for the surfaces were 3 and 5 and 7 years old decisions. So when we had to re-put up Eleanor's house, the most recent time, it was like, are we going to be able to get the front door to look right? And it sounds silly, but that front door was unique, and it was only her front door that looked like that. Chidi's house never appeared, or where he lived, until the end of the season. Well, in season 4, I think it actually comes up early. I think it was a financial decision, and I also think it was a good writing decision, because they held that back to see what Chidi's life looked like. And for really acute fans, they will notice that Kim Wannop made a great decision, our set decorator. There's going to be something in Chidi's apartment that travels through all of his places that we see him, and it's a really fun thing to be like, oh, in life in general, that these objects may travel with you. It's a very subtle decision, but I remember going, oh, Kim, is that from blah blah blah? And it is. So I'm being suspenseful on purpose, because there's some things that are coming, but there's an object that I loved that Kim made a great decision to travel with him. So the hot air balloon is a great example, because people have seen that in the show. The hot air balloon basket is a thing that the actors can get in. And remember, they have to get weighed. The basket's real, and then the bottom part of the hoop is real. But then there's actually a crane that's lifting up the hot air balloon, so then you pass it over to visual effects. And if you remember season 3, The Bridge, we worked a lot with Neednoggle on that. In fact, they loved Neednoggle so much, Mike Schur named one of the creatures. I think the thing that's wrapped around Tahani's neck that becomes like an alien slug is called the Neednoggle, because of how much work he puts into the show. Whenever there's a nightmare sequence, we have to really talk it out, because we have to say, okay, is this car real? And you do one. The train, they make moves, so we have to work out like, okay, is the train positioned here? And he takes photographs of it, and then he's the one who sometimes will animate it moving. One of the neatest things about working on Good Place is the yin yang between all the different departments, and you're communicating, daily with props and daily with the set decorating team and daily with Neednoggle. We take it to a certain point, and then they take it over from there.
Or we can talk about the show you were nominated, Janet.
Oh, yes.
Parentheses S.
Yes.
So like that, for instance, there's a lot of CGI.
Oh, yeah. That show should have been a documentary. It was fascinating to work on that show. When you map out what's going to be real and what's not, the best example in that episode is that the accounting office was all dressed, but visual effects made it look infinite. And we still dressed. I think there was 60 some computers in there.
It's mirrors, right?
No, it's not mirrors.
Oh.
It's all it's just extended. There was a wall there in real life, and then they just copied it and extended it. Yeah. I remember that conversation with David, because we hung the little signs that say like which cubicle is what, and that was a good thing to have, because then he was able to just repeat that, and it made it look like from the air it kind of went on forever. That was one of the only set extensions that I can remember really talking a lot about. And then he extends them. Macho Man Randy Savage International Airport was, extended. What is the best? Cowboy Skyscraper. So that whole thing was visual effect. That we never filmed a front of that. So he took all of our graphics and then he embellished it even more. That's where it's fun with him, because sometimes we don't even know what it's going to look like. We just see it on camera, and like the episode with the Pictionary with the donkey that comes to life, like we kind of knew what was going to happen, and we knew that visual effects was going to deal with our easel being knocked over, but like I didn't know that the donkey was going to, or the horse was going to eat the butterfly at the end. Like that was a surprise to me, and what a great like button at the end of that scene.